Here we go out on Mac's first trail, and when we start our trails at our place, we walk down the snowmobile path, which is alongside the highway. So as you can see, there's a lot of traffic going on, and Mac's doing pretty good. He's a little bit a little bit angled, kind of wanting to kind of keep an eye on the traffic there. And he's kind of, wanting to look a little bit, but he's not doing anything bad or he's not being unmanageable. And of course, I'm riding him bitless in the Fusion halter as we're going around doing this. And he ends up settling and walking pretty nicely there. And he's on the side closest to the cars. So the person that I'm trail riding with, they're on Alicia, and as you can see, they are on the side further from all the cars and the traffic and everything. So it's a pretty tough ask for Mac being on his first trail ride, first time out doing this, and he's close to the cars and doing this riding thing. So that's pretty good. On the actual path, most of the time there's little rocks there because it is a snowmobile path, and so we actually walk beside it. So the fact that he's walking to the right of the path, he is supposed to be there. We don't usually walk on that path. There's some spots where it's sandy and it's okay, but most of this stretch down beside the highway is too rocky, so you'll see us riding beside the path. So that's not him being cheeky or naughty or anything. That's just where we usually ride, and you'll see there's a little bit of kind of a path, kind of like a little well-trodden grass path that we usually go on here. And so he's already starting to kind of lick and chew a little bit as we come down here. And you can see there's all sorts of stuff that we pass on the trail. You can see some big windmills in the background there that he would have never seen before. And there's power lines, and there's going to be signs and all sorts of trees and things like that. And then there's still the highway on our one side as well. So there's lots to look out, but overall he's feeling like he's pretty interested in what's going on. He seems kind of eager, and he's pretty happy to go take the lead. So remember, this is his first time out, and he's already kind of marching along there out in front. So we did a little bit side-by-side riding to start with, and then I let him kind of go forward and take the lead. And towards the end of the trail ride, I'll get him to follow in behind. Here he kind of paused for a little minute as the path got more narrow. So I'm not sure if it's because he could hear the traffic on the other side of the trees, but he couldn't see them. Little look at all the beautiful colors on the side there. So he doesn't do anything bad or awful. I'm able to get him going and get him to go through, and he does do a poof, which tells me that he was, a little bit nervous, but he walks along, just fine. And I speed up the footage here just so that way we don't make it a ridiculously long video, because there are a couple moments that I want to show you guys coming up where he did look at something, and I want to show you how he reacted and how I helped him through that. So we march along, and you can see our little path from walking on the side of the snowmobile path there. And he does a really good job of kind of going along nice and smoothly there. And we just walk the trails for the most part. For the horse's first trail, we want them to be really relaxed. We don't want them to come out and be crazy and want to really get going and running. We want them to come out and just relax and think and just have an enjoyable time. I will do a little bit of trot later into the ride just to kind of test it out, that emotional control piece of if we do add some speed, does he stay calm? But as we get into this traffic part here, once we get a little closer, I'm going to unmute the video clip so that way you guys can hear just how loud it is with the traffic over there. And it's kind of funny. So we come, and there's like this little dirt road where I'm standing right now. That's kind of like a little road. There's not really a lot of people that turn down this road. So we usually just wait at the stop sign and then we cross, and we don't usually have to worry about cars coming on this side. But you'll see as we are standing waiting by the traffic, there's somebody who actually wants to turn onto the little road that we're on here, and we have to move out of the way and let them pass. So we just stand here by the road, and now you guys can hear just how loud it is. And he's doing a really good job. So after a few cars go by, I give him a cookie for positive reinforcement, just to make sure he knows that that's great, that he's standing still. while all those cars are going by. All right, so we're back on the trail over here, and I'm just speeding up this part since we crossed the road and we're coming along here and walking down the path, and it's all pretty easy. And this hill is a pretty big hill. The camera, I don't think, does this hill justice, but it's a pretty sizable hill. And here's Mac walking up his first really, really big hill. It gets quite steep, especially towards the top there. And sometimes horses, when they get to a hill like this, they're going to want to just run up the hill. Mac gets a little bit wiggly. He's like, his concept of a straight line is a little bit questionable, but it's a really big hill, and sometimes they want to just run up it a little bit because it's easier for them. But he does a really good job of walking up this hill. It's a bit of a booty workout as he gets up there, but we get to the top of the hill there. He does a really good job of just staying calm and relaxed there, so I'm pretty happy about that. He gets a little bit of a scratch and a little bit of breather once we get to the top of that hill. So here is something that he actually did kind of spook at a little bit. So this is a bunch of graffiti on the electrical boxes there. So he kind of looks at it like, what? What's that? And I just kind of sit there and kind of keep him straight. And he ends up walking forward. And that was kind of the extent of his spook. That was like the biggest spook of the ride. So it wasn't even that, noteworthy. But what I love about it is it kind of shows his brain of, what is it? And then we've done a really good job of slowing him down and getting him to think through things that he doesn't overreact. And so I actually used him for the building confidence course that I filmed. I filmed an online building confidence course that will be coming out later this fall, kind of early winter. It'll be coming out, and it really kind of shows that training we did to help him see new things and slow down, stay calm, think your way through it is really working. As we come onto his first trail ride there, he saw something he was unsure about and is not overreacting or scrambling or bolting or doing any of those defensive flighty things that horses do sometimes. So we made it into the beautiful forest. The colors are all changing. It's looking really pretty in here. And so here he's totally fine walking into the narrow space and the trees and whatnot. So earlier on the trail, when he kind of, slowed down and was a little bit nervous going into that more narrow spot on the trail, I really think it was just because he couldn't see the cars and everything, but he could hear them, and is really settled and easy about it all here. So he's pretty relaxed. And even here we go by and you can see there's a bag of garbage on the one side, and he looks at it, but he keeps walking and he goes by, and that's kind of scary stuff. And offer him a little cookie there. I know when we've taken some horses on a trail, this little spot tends to have a bag of garbage or whatnot here because the kids from the town of Pontypool usually come out and they play. They've got some dirt biking trail thing, like mountain biking, I don't know what they're called, like the ditches and stuff that they've made. And so they bring a lot of garbage with them. So it's good actually that they've brought plastic bags out to put their garbage into, so it's not just all over the place. So here is Mac's little trot on the trail. So this was actually the only trot we did on the trail because for the most part I just wanted to walk. And so he's a little bit wiggly as we're going down the trail, but we're getting pretty far away from Alicia trotting off into the distance. So I don't blame him for being a little bit kind of like, back and forth, not being super straight. But that was the trotting that we did. And so he stayed, pretty, calm, relaxed, and went a really good distance away from Alicia. So I was pretty happy with that. And then this is starting to walk towards home on the trail. And so that's one of the main roads through Pontypool on our right, and it's the Pontypool Forest on the left. And so we always like to come this way home so that way we get another opportunity to walk through kind of town. There's people's backyards that are on the right hand side. on the other side of that road there. Sometimes dogs come charging up the fence and barking at you, or there's different people in their backyards, and sometimes, people on bikes and all sorts of things will come past us. So it just gives another opportunity to kind of test them out for different things in town riding, and is a nice little test for them. I just wanted to get a little bit of footage of him coming towards the camera with the colors in the background. So took this tiny little clip there to get the colors on the hill. And then this is on our way back with me in the back now. So putting Mac behind Alicia, just to test out him following for a little bit and making sure that he doesn't have to be in the lead. Although I think it's harder for a horse to lead a trail than to follow on a trail. Sometimes they have to be braver. But anyways, he's walking along behind, totally fine about that. And you can see we've got the traffic. And then our final pit stop on the trail is we have apple trees. And now that it's fall, we have apples. And so I'm picking apples for Mac and I on the tree. And then there's a couple apples that are low down that there's no way I'm going to be able to get them from Mac. So I hop off Mac so I can go pick him and I a couple more apples there. They're pretty delicious. I don't know what kind they are, but they're pretty yum. So he's standing there. He gets to have a bite of the apple there. So he thinks that's a pretty good deal. He's happy to get an apple on the trail ride. So he's getting a little apple there, and then I'm going to munch on mine on the way back. And I'll just show you guys how he stands quietly for me to mount back up as we finish up our trail, the last bit of the walk towards home. So all in all, I gotta say I'm really happy with his first trail ride. He was a really good boy, had a lot of pretty good tests in there, and he's not autopilot. Like, you can't just kind of sit there and do nothing. You have to actually ride because he's inexperienced, so he still needs to tell you what he needs to do. But he never really questioned me or anything like that. He was calm and listened well. So I feel really good about that. So let me know what you guys think. But Mr. Mac did a great job. Thanks for watching, guys.